Chosen one. Listen carefully. What you feel is not random. What rises in your heart is not accidental. In the spiritual realm, emotions are not passive reactions. They are forces. They move, they speak, they authorize, they govern. Long before your circumstances change, your emotions have already spoken permission or resistance. The unseen realm responds not only to what you pray, but to what you consistently feel. Fear opens doors. Peace closes them. Faith accelerates time. Despair slows destiny. This is why your emotions matter more than you were ever taught. Many of the battles you face did not begin in the physical world. They were conceived in the emotional realm, quietly, gradually, invisibly. A repeated feeling becomes a belief. A belief becomes an expectation. An expectation becomes a reality. This is the hidden law that governs outcomes. Chosen one, emotions are spiritual signals. They inform your spirit how to interpret reality. When fear dominates, your vision narrows. When hope rises, your perception expands. When anger festers, discernment becomes distorted. When peace settles, clarity returns. The spiritual realm responds to alignment, and emotions are the language of alignment. This is why the enemy does not always attack your body or your finances first. He targets your emotional state, because if he can shape how you feel, he can influence how you decide. And if he can influence how you decide, he can delay what is meant for you without ever touching your destiny directly. But hear this truth. Emotions were never meant to rule you. They were designed to serve you. They were created to inform, not dominate. To signal, not command. When emotions take the throne, confusion reigns. When truth takes the throne, emotions fall back into order. You're not weak because you feel deeply. You are sensitive because you are spiritually alive. The depth of your emotions is evidence of your capacity to perceive the unseen. But without awareness, that same depth can become a burden. With wisdom, it becomes a weapon. In the spiritual realm, authority flows through alignment. When your emotions agree with truth, heaven responds with movement. When your emotions are fractured, progress feels heavy and delayed. This is why inner alignment always precedes outer breakthrough. Chosen one, this is the awakening. Your emotions are not enemies. They are messengers. And today, you are learning how to read them without surrendering your power to them. Stay here, stay open, because what you are about to receive will shift not only how you feel, but how reality responds to you. Chosen one. Hear this with a guarded heart and an open spirit. Not every chain is visible. Not every prison has walls. Some of the strongest restraints are emotional, forged quietly through fear, sadness, and anger. Emotions that were never meant to bind you, yet learned how to stay. Fear is the first chain. It does not arrive screaming. It whispers. It asks what if, and repeats the question until your spirit begins to hesitate. Fear narrows your faith. It convinces you to prepare for loss before you ever experience victory. In the spiritual realm, fear sends a signal of retreat. It tells opportunity to wait, clarity to hide, and courage to sleep. Not because you are unworthy, but because fear speaks the language of delay. Sadness is the second chain. It often wears the face of fatigue, disappointment, or grief that was never given space to heal. Sadness pulls your gaze backward. It replays what should have ended and drains strength from the present. In the unseen realm, prolonged sadness creates heaviness, not as punishment, but as weight. The more you carry what was never meant to be permanent, the harder it becomes to rise. And anger is the third chain. Anger is not evil by nature, but unresolved anger becomes a doorway. It hardens perception. It teaches your heart to defend instead of discern. In the spiritual realm, anger blurs direction. It keeps you reacting instead of responding. And what you react to repeatedly begins to control you. Chosen one, these emotions do not enslave you overnight. They bind you slowly. One unchecked fear, one unprocessed sorrow, one justified resentment. Over time, they weave unseen chains, patterns of thought, habits of avoidance, reflexes of self-protection. This is why you may feel tired without reason, heavy without explanation, stuck even while moving. The chains are not on your destiny. They are around your emotional posture. But listen carefully. Chains only exist where truth has been delayed. Fear survives where trust has been wounded. Sadness lingers where healing was postponed. Anger settles where boundaries were violated. These emotions are not signs of failure. They are evidence of battles endured. And this is the turning point. Chains lose power when they are named. Darkness weakens when exposed. And emotions lose authority when truth speaks louder. You are not bound beyond hope. You are not trapped beyond restoration. The same awareness that reveals the chains is already loosening them. Stay present, chosen one, because what has been shaping you invisibly is about to be broken deliberately. The emotional burden of the chosen ones. Chosen one. There is a weight you carry that few can see and even fewer can understand. It is not a weakness. It is not a flaw. It is the emotional burden of those who are called to perceive more, feel deeper, and endure longer than others ever will. The chosen are not given lighter lives. They are given deeper hearts. You sense shifts before they happen. You feel tensions others ignore. You carry concern for people who may never carry you back. This is why your emotions feel intense, why your exhaustion feels layered, why rest does not always come easily. You are not broken. You are sensitive by design. From an early moment, many chosen learn to stay strong while feeling deeply. You learn to comfort others while silencing your own pain. You learn to keep going even when your heart was tired. Over time, strength became your identity, but suppression became your habit. And unexpressed emotion does not disappear. It settles. In the spiritual realm, the burden of the chosen is often emotional before it is physical. You wrestle inwardly long before life shows signs of change. You feel responsibility where others feel indifference. You feel guilt where others feel freedom. This is not because you are fragile, it is because you are aware. But hear this truth, chosen one. Awareness without release becomes weight. Compassion without boundaries becomes exhaustion. Sensitivity without restoration becomes pain. The enemy does not need to destroy. The chosen, he only needs to wear them down emotionally. This is why many chosen feel alone, even in rooms full of people. Why they feel misunderstood, unseen, or emotionally unheld. You were given vision, but not always protection. Depth, but not always shelter. And yet you survived. The emotional burden you carry did not come from weakness. It came from calling. But calling does not mean constant carrying. Even the chosen were never meant to bear everything alone. There is permission being released right now. Permission to rest without guilt, to feel without shame, to release without fear of losing identity. You do not lose your calling when you lay down the weight. You regain your strength. Chosen one, you were not chosen to suffer endlessly. You were chosen to transform pain into wisdom, sensitivity into discernment, and burden into authority. What you carry can be lightened without being lost. Stay here, because what comes next is not about enduring more. It's about being restored enough to rise. Chosen one. This is the truth that breaks inner captivity. You feel emotions, but you are not your emotions. What you experience passes through you. It does not define you. Emotions rise like waves, but you are the shore. They speak, but they do not rule, unless you give them the throne. Too many of the chosen have mistaken intensity for identity, assuming that because a feeling is strong, it must be true. But strength does not equal authority. In the spiritual realm, confusion begins when emotions become identity. Fear says, I am unsafe. Sadness says, I am empty. Anger says, I am wronged. But these statements are distortions. They describe a moment, not a destiny. When emotions speak as identity, they rewrite truth, and truth is never meant to be rewritten by feelings. Divine truth restores order. It teaches you to observe emotions without merging with them, to listen without obeying, to acknowledge without surrendering. This is not suppression, it is sovereignty. Chosen one, you were given emotions as instruments, not as masters. They alert you to misalignment, but they are not meant to decide your direction. A dashboard light warns, but it does not drive the vehicle. When you let emotions steer, you drift. When truth leads, emotions fall into alignment. This is why clarity returns the moment you separate who you are from what you feel. Peace begins not when emotions disappear, but when they lose authority. You stop asking, "Why do I feel this way?" and begin declaring, "This feeling will not define me." You are not fear, you are aware. You are not sadness, you are healing. You are not anger, you are discerning. Your spirit stands above your emotional weather. And just as storms do not erase the sky, emotions do not erase your calling. Chosen one, today, a line is drawn. Feelings may visit, but they no longer govern. You reclaim authorship over your inner world. And when the inner world realigns, the outer world follows. Stay anchored, because what rises next is not emotion, it is authority. Chosen one. Alignment is not about denying what you feel. It is about guiding what you feel back into truth. Emotions were never meant to roam without direction. They were designed to respond to light. When truth leads, emotions learn where to settle. Alignment begins the moment you stop fighting your emotions and start instructing them. You acknowledge fear, but you do not bow to it. You recognize sadness, but you do not build a home there. You feel anger, but you do not let it speak the final word. Divine truth does not silence emotions. It reorders them. In the spiritual realm, alignment is authority in motion. When your emotions agree with truth, your inner world becomes stable. Stability creates clarity. Clarity produces confidence, and confidence releases movement. This is why alignment always precedes breakthrough. Chosen one, truth does not change because emotions fluctuate. Truth remains constant when feelings rise and fall. When you anchor your emotions to truth, they stop dragging you into reaction and begin supporting intentional response. You no longer wake up governed by moods. You rise led by purpose. Peace is not the absence of emotion. It is the presence of alignment. Hope is not denial. It is disciplined focus. Courage is not fearlessness. It is fear brought under instruction. When emotions are aligned, they become fuel instead of friction. This alignment happens through repetition. Each time you choose truth over feeling, you strengthen spiritual muscle. Each time you pause before reacting, you regain ground. Each time you speak truth aloud, emotions recalibrate. The unseen realm responds to consistency, not perfection. Chosen one, alignment is a daily return, not a one-time event. Some days will require gentleness, others will demand firmness. But every time you choose truth, your emotional landscape reshapes itself. You are not forcing peace, you are positioning for it. You are not suppressing pain, you are transforming it. You are not losing sensitivity, you are gaining mastery. Stay attentive, because aligned emotions do not just feel better, they open doors that resistance kept closed. Chosen one. Now is the moment where words become weapons and truth becomes command. What is spoken in alignment carries authority. What is declared with faith reshapes the unseen. These are not wishes. These are prophetic declarations, spoken to reorder your emotional realm. Receive them slowly. Let them settle. Let them work. I declare that fear no longer governs your inner world. Fear may knock, but it will not enter. Fear may speak, but it will not decide. Your spirit rises above intimidation, and your heart remembers trust. I declare that sadness will no longer anchor you to the past. What hurt you will not hold you. What ended will not define you. Joy begins to return in quiet ways, restoring strength without pressure. I declare that anger will no longer distort your vision. Discernment replaces reaction. Wisdom softens what rage hardened. You respond with clarity, not impulse. I declare emotional peace over your mind, rest over your thoughts, stability over your inner world. Your emotions align with truth, and confusion releases its grip. I declare that heaviness lifts from your chest, that emotional fatigue loosens its hold, that what weighed you down dissolves under divine authority. I declare that your sensitivity becomes discernment, your compassion gains boundaries, your depth becomes wisdom. Nothing about you is wasted. I declare alignment between your emotions and divine truth. What you feel comes into agreement with who you are called to be. Inner resistance fades. Inner clarity rises. I declare safety in your emotional space. You are guarded from overwhelm, protected from manipulation, covered from unnecessary burden. I declare restoration in places that were silently damaged. Where trust was shaken, stability returns. Where hope was thin, expectancy grows. I declare that your nights are peaceful. Your sleep is guarded. Your subconscious is covered. Even while you rest, healing continues. Chosen one, these declarations are sealed, not by emotion, but by truth. What has been spoken now works beyond feeling, beyond effort, beyond awareness. Receive it. Rest in it. Walk forward knowing your emotional realm is no longer unmanaged. It is aligned, protected and restored. Chosen one, the night is no longer a battlefield. It becomes a place of covering, restoration and quiet repair. You have carried enough through the day. Now your soul is invited to rest without vigilance, without defense, without fear. As darkness settles around you, a greater light surrounds you. Your mind releases its grip on unfinished thoughts. Your heart loosens what it has been holding. There is no demand placed on you now, only permission to breathe, to soften, to be held. I speak calm over your nervous system, stillness over racing thoughts, peace over memories that try to surface when the world goes quiet. Chosen one, the weight you carried into this night does not follow you into sleep. Emotional fatigue is not your companion. Anxiety does not keep watch over you. Your rest is guarded. Your inner world is safe. Even as you sleep, restoration begins. What was strained is gently realigned. What was fragmented is quietly gathered. What was overwhelmed finds relief without effort. You do not have to understand how it happens, only that it does. Dreams are purified. The subconscious is covered. The heart rests without interruption. If tears were held back during the day, they are now released without pain. If thoughts were suppressed to survive, they now dissolve without demand. Nothing rises to accuse you. Nothing comes to disturb you. Chosen one, this is deep rest, the kind that reaches beneath awareness, the kind that heals what words could not reach, the kind that restores strength before the next sunrise. You are watched over. You are protected. You are allowed to sleep. Let the night do its work. Let peace settle fully. And when morning comes, you will rise lighter, not because everything changed, but because you were restored.